Hey, it's Truck and Tanker Yanker. I just got a real quick one for you. Stay tuned. Don't get dusted off the road.
Bragger, this is the Truck and Tanker Yanker. I'm 10-8 with my 10 in the wind. My heaters are glowing, my manners are showing. Wind her up, let her go, come on. I'm your travel agent with a story to tell. Let's go for a ride.
Hey, it's Truck and Tanker Yanker. I'm back, and I just wanted to talk to you about snow country and driving down the road when it is snowy. All right? Now, it might be pretty relevant right now at this time of the year. Just check the date on this video if you want to know what I'm talking about. This is February of 2021, and we have had snow across the country. We got snow in Galveston and Houston. I had a friend who said that he used to say that when Houston freezes over, as like something that will never happen. He sent me a picture of Houston with snow. There you go. Hey, but when you're getting passed by a big truck, generally speaking, on an interstate highway, the main lane of travel or main lanes of travel are generally fairly clear, sometimes, of blowing snow, just from the amount of traffic that's been over them. Especially if it's not snowing currently. That's especially what I mean. But usually it's pretty glazed ice. And for some reason, everybody drives in that glazed ice rather than the white stuff that's on the fast lane or passing lanes or whatever. There's better traction over there in the white stuff than there is on that glazed stuff. But since the glazed stuff actually looks cleaner, it's got dark ruts or something like that, people always drive there. But that's stinking slick. I'm just saying, all right? But, and I'm just saying, this is from experience just recently. The other night I was coming back on a run. I was empty, and I was really motating, and, you know, making good time, you know, and the thing, and anyway, so I got passed by a mail truck, and as he was coming up on my left, and there was a lot of snow in the fast lane, and it was, you know, below zero and below 0 Fahrenheit, fairly cold, so it was really frozen snow, and it blows around an awful lot, just like a dust cloud. Well, I knew what was going to happen because I've been doing this for 35 years. Well, I'm coming on to 36 years now, I guess. Anyway, been doing this for a long time. I knew what was going to happen. I also knew what he had to deal with. So I let off the throttle, and I slowed down, so that way the guy could go, whoom, get on past me, and then dust me down, you know, and at some point you're not going to be able to see anything. And anyway, and that's partly why I slow down, just so that way I can try to spot the road, or if you're going to go off the road, and because the dust cloud covering you, you're not going to go off the road fast. That's just, you know, it's just the plain and simple of it. So anyway, so he got around me, no sweat. He was still going fast enough. I was going slow enough. The dust clouds settled down, and so I could see where I was going again. That's the way you ought to do it. So, when somebody's passing you, just let out of it, slow down, let him get around you, and get in front of you. Because, now, this is the first time I know, you know, and I always wondered, you know, if this has ever happened before, but because of the dust cloud behind you, you know, you just can't see. But this actually happened last week. I was passing some guy who couldn't make up his mind how fast he wanted to go. And we were in the hills, and I knew that I was going to be able to pass him on one of these little hills because he was slowing down. I was pulling a train. I was about 105 feet long, but I was empty, even though I weighed like 46,000 pounds. And then with ice and everything else, I probably weighed closer to 50,000 pounds. Anyway, and he was loaded. Well, anyway, so I go to pass him, and I'm only going 3 miles an hour faster than him. He didn't let out of it. And I'm like, this is not going to look pretty. And sure enough, I'm looking in my right-hand mirror, and just as I'm watching all of his lights disappear because there's that much snow blowing around, I've got, let's see, how many axles on the ground did I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I had 9 axles on the ground at that time. I had 2 hanging in the air. But I had 9 axles on the ground. It just creates more of a swirly storm. Anyway, once his headlights disappeared, I knew if I get back into the slow lane, the dust will settle down that much more than if I just stay where there's 3 inches of fresh powdery snow in the hammer lane. So I moved over to back to the slow lane. Just as I was getting into the slow lane, still watching in my mirror, I could see my last trailer light, and so I knew, since I couldn't see his lights and I could see mine, I knew I was in front of him. At least had a reasonable expectation. And then in my left-hand mirror, I'm always watching everything. I look at my left-hand mirror and I saw that guy shoot out into the median, and I could not believe it. And then once he came to a stop, fortunately the median was fairly level at that spot. And when he came to a stop, he hollered on the CB, and he's like, "That guy just blew me off the road." No, actually his own stupidity blew him off the road. He never even slowed down. I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he was playing on his cell phone. I have no idea. He was doing a game on the internet for all I know. But it just was inexperience is all I can say. You know, I felt really bad, but it maybe no big brother just went and told him like I'm telling it right now. You know, I'm going to tell it how it is. I mean, I'm not real proud of that. There's nothing I can do about it, except for following the gaggle of traffic that would have backed up behind him, which I don't want to be part of that gaggle, because when you're in a gaggle of traffic and for some reason everybody goes together in bunches, when somebody in that bunch gets in a wreck, that's one big bunch of wreck. I'm just saying, hey. And I'm just trying to avoid those kind of situations. So I don't hang out in a gaggle. Either I'll hang way back, and, you know, it's like, we get a lot of people from country where they don't have experience driving in the snow, and they just poke along. I can't poke along at that speed. You know, you can say, well, what's the safest speed? Bed. Staying in bed, that's the safest speed right there. Anytime you get out of bed, you're going to start mitigating safety for expediency because you got something to do. And weighing that when you're going down the road, well, I guarantee you make a mistake, whatever the mistake is, they're always going to second guess you and say, you were going too fast for conditions. Well, that's not always true. Yeah, if I'd have been in bed, I wouldn't have been involved in something like that guy heading out in the median because he couldn't see where he was going because he was going too fast. You know, you hear about pilots doing that all the time. You know, they're not instrument rated. They fly into a cloud. Next thing you know, they look at the pen floating in the air next to them, wondering why in the world the pen's floating in the air. Well, there you go. You get disoriented. We don't have controls that says where the highway is. In an airplane, they got controls. I don't know why some of them people don't know how to fly level in an airplane. It's got a bubble right there that says where their indicator, their attitude indicator, whatever it is. You know, they should see their attitude indicator all cockeyed when their pen's floating in the big trucks. We don't got that. It'd be nice. I imagine someday they're gonna have a strip running down the road. They don't even need me to sit here. If they do, it just babysit it while the truck does all the work. And they don't need a truck and tanker yanker for that because I got experience. I'm not a truck babysitter, but that's what it is, and that's what technology gets us, I guess. But till we get that technology, if somebody is passing you in the powdery, dusty stuff, slow down and let them around, all right? You know, and even do that, drivers, even do that on dry pavement. You know how many times I tried to pass some guy who's going 2 miles an hour slower than me, and because I never stopped, I know I'm going to make it an hour or two down the road further than him in the end run if I just make it around him, and they won't even let out of it. You got heavy traffic backing up behind you, and he's just slowly edging ahead of the guy, slowly. He won't even let out of it. That is unprofessional. I'm just saying, the professional thing to do is let out of it. If you're in a car and a big truck is trying to get by you, think while you're driving. You know how many times I go to pass a car and I'm going past them like that, and all of a sudden they speed up because they don't want me ahead of them for some reason. But then once they get in front of me and I get back behind them, then they slow down again. I know it's unconscious, but you got to think about it when you're driving. This is, you know, I am pulling, and currently in the current configuration I am right now, I am pulling, let's call it 52 tons. I'm 52 tons of metal and propane. When I had my gas train the other night, I was roughly 60 tons of metal and gasoline. You got to think about what you're doing. If you're in a car, you're in 1.5 to 2 tons of steel that will make a huge impact in somebody else's life. We got to think about it when we're going down the road, folks. I'm just saying. All right? Hey, take it easy. Just take it easy. Don't drive beyond your ability. You want to look beyond your hood ornament. And don't be a bumper sticker. Keep the shiny side up and the dirty side down, because I'm the truck and tanker Yanker. We gone.